Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As it says, my name is Paul Keasey. I am now Detective Superintendent involved in actually covert policing. So why am I here? Well, that's my new role. A month ago, I was in charge of Central Motorway Police Group for the last 3 years. For those of you who don't know what it is, if I said motorway cops, you've probably got more of an idea now what I ran. CMPG was the largest road policing outfit in the UK. But instead of me trying to explain what that's about and how technology played a part, I'm going to show you a quick video that actually demonstrates the breadth of what CMPG was about. Every time I play that video, I say the same thing. It's the same reaction, whether it's 1,000 people and people who are standing up, or it's a small, intimate forum. It's the same reaction. The reason I introduce that is road policing, moving forward, I can talk to you about technology, how we're going to tackle crime, how we're going to use ANPR more effectively in the future, how we're going to have a national system and how it's going to work, how we're going to combat autonomous vehicles. It's already been mentioned a couple of times. One of the key elements is how we prevent it from being hacked so that other people have control of these cars whilst they're on our roads. I can also talk about how we're going to use it in relation to tackling crime from international partners. How we're going to prevent people using things such as mobile phones in cars. But the reason I'm here today and the reason I agreed to speak is because the key element for us is road safety. And road safety and technology are absolutely interlinked nowadays. If you think of a car as basically a computer on wheels that just happens to transport people, you're getting the impression of where I'm coming from. There is that much technology within cars that we must utilise it to actually enhance our ability to prevent serious accidents occurring. That video, there was all the normal bit at the front, police cars driving around at speed, and we do that. But that last bit, those two images, the mother holding the picture of her daughter, that was caused by a lorry driver who was watching a video whilst driving and collided with a young couple, her daughter being one of them, that was actually parked at the side of the road, did everything right because they'd been broken down. But we must, as the plaque says, learn our lessons, and not just learn them, but take them forward. So, I'm sure to this audience, there'll be no surprise that this year, the main causation factor for killed or serious injured accidents is likely to be distraction, predominantly due to mobile phones. What I'm going to do is show you a video now, and I want you to imagine that you are the audience in this video. I wish I could have got one of my technological devices, got all your numbers as you came in and did that live with you. Slight issue, it'd be illegal. But apart from that, I was quite happy to do it and move it forward. The reality is that video just demonstrates how quickly, just by looking down, right, it used to be the problem in policing, people on the mobile phone. And it was so easy for police, you see them with the phones there, or the bricks as they were by the side of their ears. Nowadays, the bigger issue, and the one that causes us more consolation, is what we would call the nodding down, just checking their Facebook, their Twitter, their social media, because then you are deliberately taking your eyes from the road. Other countries, you're not allowed to use your mobile phones at all, while in the UK, hands-free, absolutely you're allowed to. But that's how technology can cause issues for us. So from a road policing point of view, we have to try and tackle that in a number of different ways. But my main aspect is if we can try and get some habitual compliance. Is get people to understand the consequences of doing that activity and actually getting that messages. I used to say, when I came to events such as this, I'm actually talking to the wrong people because you already care, because you've come to learn and understand. I actually think you're the right people because you do care. And when you go back, have a look at your companies, have a look at your organisations, as it said on one of the first slides, a vast majority of you are in key leadership roles. How do you make sure that your drivers, that your people who are actually utilising the phones while in the vehicles are complying even with your individual company regulations, let alone the law? I'll put out a little bit of a test for you. If I ask 10 individuals in the audience to give me numbers of drivers who they believe are on the road now, how confident would you be if we phoned them live that they wouldn't answer it? Companies are now starting to develop apps so it actually blocks their airwaves and are unable to use it. Problem is sometimes it doesn't stop their own personal phones, etc. So it is an uphill battle. But there are some real positives as well about technology. Together with Matt from Microlize, we are now looking to overlay data anonymously to understand where potential accident sites occur. As the police, we will understand where the accident has occurred. I know about those. I know they've occurred, and I know tragically some of those have ended up in people losing their lives. And guess what? We're quite good then at rectifying the problem once it's happened. What we're trying to do now is get a little bit ahead of the curve. As I said, car, computer on wheels, your telematics, your data. Wouldn't it be great if we had that central repository that we could start overlaying it more and more to understand it was the near misses, the harsh braking, what caused that. So potentially, in the next few months, together with Microlise, we are looking to develop some products that will give things like road safety partnerships a better idea of where to put their investment, of where to make a difference so that ladies, such as the one you saw in the video, don't have to live the rest of their life with the tragedy of losing one of their loved ones. I fully appreciate we've run over a little bit of time, so what I'm going to do is just ask you, please go back to your companies, have a look at your technology. I'm sure it makes your logistics much more effective and efficient and your productivity higher. But what I would also ask is there any way that you can contribute to ensuring that we have a much more safer road network? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lots of feedback here. The general feeling is that we need more police cars on the motorways, not less. And we know those numbers have declined, and that remote policing cameras just are not as effective as having bobbies in cars because they're mobile, they're visible, they're a currency everybody understands. Why does it take so long to clear up motorways after accidents? I think I was reading last year there were 455,000 motorway closures.
Yes.
Why can't we do this quicker?
Okay, there are two issues. If it's a killed or seriously injured, there's almost a criminal investigation first.
But most of this is two Fiestas, one's gone into the back of the other, and the traffic officers are standing around with their arms folded.
Okay, I think
it's true.
As I move away now before we get into confrontation, I think the Highways England do a fantastic job.
You would say that?
I would. I think the element is, if it's serious, it always takes a... The problem in a motorway is there's nowhere to go. Legitimately, it's just, if you're on a side road, you have a bump, you pull it into the side and you deal with the incident, well...
And with smart motorways, we've got hard shoulders, not my idea.
No, not mine.
Good. Okay, and I think from the haulage industry, what can we do about improving driver awareness among the public?
I think there's a real dilemma. You have the FTA with the idea of the white van man and the persona of that. You then have the other extreme from the RHA. I think that the point he's made is that actually raising awareness and understanding of what they're about, that it is a profession, that they are great. They're great. There are actually very few accidents or incidents of a serious nature. The problem is, if you have a large truck and it hits a car, there's only going to be really one winner. And that's the negative side to it. But I do think the professionalism is really starting to come through.
Well, I would have driving at school as part of the school curriculum, but I go to Gove and he says, no, we want Latin instead. So there you go. Thank you very much indeed, Paul.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.